Welcome back, Chef Randy's Cutting Edge. What are we going to do today? Some wings. Now we're going to do this a little bit different because I have an air fryer back here. So we're going to give a little bit of information on the air fryer. We're also going to give a little information on the wings. We're going to make this simple. Sea salt, cafe ground black pepper, whatever type of hot sauce you really love, mix them up. And we're going to make some blue cheese later on, talk about celery, make a complete nice cool dish. Now, air frying, right? Everybody's intimidated by this for some reason. It's not a super expensive piece of equipment. The only things I would say after I went through my first one is getting something with a bigger surface area. Now, what you have is, they'll say 4 quarts, 8 quarts, 9 quarts, 10 quarts, but it'll also be very tall instead of having the surface area that you put everything flat, because you mostly want everything flat, or if you're doing french fries, like halfway, etc. So I know we're doing this about wings, but air fryer is actually really cool. So the air fryer, one, it gets up to temp super fast, right? It's just like having a convection oven. It circles the heat, gets your food crispy. One, you're not frying it as well. So, and it's just convenience. It's a tool that you use for convenience. It's actually better for you as well, instead of putting in a bunch of oils and so on. So you get this nice and crispy texture on the chicken and then the wings, etc. And it's fast. So the one that I actually kind of went with, it has 2 different chambers, and you can cook 2 different things at one time. So you can cook in this side, or you can cook in this side. So it's 2 different sides for you. Don't use any aerosol cans in it. Don't do anything like that. They're non sticking surfaces that are all on there, and like I said, just like anything else, you get what you pay for. So some of the cheaper brands, maybe it comes off a little bit in the dishwasher or something like that, and you need to hand wash them. So just look at the directions on them and so on. So simply said, keep it a little bit away from the counters, because it sucks out air, blows in air, whichever. So this one I can do like 2 different chambers, so I can do both of them for wings. If I hit on, right, and then I just hit 2, I can go to 1 to 2, whichever one I want to do. Or I can hit match cook. They'll cook the same exact way. Or if I'm cooking something in this and I want to do vegetables in this, completely different too. You can even pick your temps. And they make this super easy. Hit air fry. 390 degrees is perfect for wings. They'll even have these little things on the side, whichever. And like I said, I'm not a spokesman for Ninja by any chance. I just like good equipment. So this is just something that I have at the house. We're going to go ahead and press start. And you want to give this a little bit of time, just like your oven, but it gets up to temperature a lot faster because it's a smaller surface area, smaller area that needs to get the circulating air and to get up to temp the proper way. So we're going to let this sit for 1 or 2 minutes, and while we're letting this sit, we're going to go ahead and just season these things up, right? And like I said, cooking should be fun. You're supposed to be enjoying yourself, and if you're not so much of a good cook, your food might taste better in the end run. So grab a beer, grab some wine, have some fun, enjoy yourself. Now, with chicken, just like I do with steaks or anything else, you want to pat them dry, because you want the seasonings to adhere real nice, etc. Now, I do have different seasonings that I can use. We're going to get into the seasoning game a little bit later. But I'm just going to show you this as just a simple way of doing it, and you get tons of flavor if you have the right seasoning. Fresh cafe ground black pepper, beautiful sea salt, right? So we're just going to go 6 inches above, let it rain on top. You're getting a nice crispiness on these wings anyway. Same thing, pepper, salt first, then pepper. Sticks better, right? Beautiful. And pat just a little bit, sticks on there, because whenever you flip it, you're going to lose a little bit of seasoning as well, right? Same thing with a steak. That's why you want to be putting enough seasoning. All right. So again, salt and pepper. Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes. Well, like I said, this thing gets up to temperature pretty fast. So if you take this out, it's going to go ahead, put a couple wings in there. I'll put the legs a little bit closer together. Like I said, you don't want it to be like one over the other. If you're doing french fries or something like that, you can go up to the sides, only about halfway. We're gonna stick that in there. And same for this. Put the leg over the leg. We'll stick together. There we go. Now, different size wings, different size whichever, it takes whatever time, you'll get used to it. I have some wings that are in there a little bit smaller. They go for 8 to 10 minutes. These ones seem a little bit bigger because these are the ones that I found for today. So I'm gonna let it go ahead and go for the 17 minutes, right? And remember, about halfway, you do wanna mix it up a little bit, just like you would anything else, shaking it up. So you can actually put it, you do 8 minutes, and then it'll remind you to shake it up if you don't have a good memory, or just leave it on and just try to remember to shake it up every once in a while. So just like anything else. All right, let me put my beer down, and we're about to be to the very end here. 5 more seconds to go. All right, so now it goes into like a little cool stage, which is nice. But like I said, you know, some of the air gets sucked or blown out and so on from the top, so you want to keep it away from the backsplash and so don't have it too close. Plus it is a little bit of heat that comes out from the side too, so I don't want to mess up your cabinets or whatever it is. But that's like a perfect if it's coming out from the side. Now that that's done, and again, not a sponsor, but this is kind of cool, this Truffle hot sauce. It's spicy. They have a couple different brands. That the white one is pretty cool. They have a hotter and hot if you really like hot. But it's black truffle infused and it's phenomenal. So every time that I'm doing my wings, I don't like, you know, picking it up and dripping all over my face and so on. That's just me. I get it. There's a lot of ways to do it. But what I do is I usually just take a little bit of sauce, because if you buy this, it's not the cheapest hot sauce either. So anything that's great usually costs a little bit of money. So what I do is I usually just pour a little bit on the inside of the bowl, just kind of scatter it around, and that's about it. So after that, take a couple of these wings out, nice golden. Right. These two, huh? And just kind of mix these bad boys around. Oh man, if you can smell this. You know Jeff is loving this right now. Mm-hmm. Just want to get a nice little coating on there. You don't got to go nuts on this truffle sauce or any sauce to be like that. It's just a waste of everything. So if you got to coat it just a little bit more, you know, just put a couple little dabs in there. It doesn't have to be nuts. You know, these are a little bit different wings than what I usually get. You know, because I like the drums. Well, this smell of this is just phenomenal. Then we'll just grab like a plate. Now, something to accommodate, we're gonna make some blue cheese and some celery real quick, and we'll be right back with that. All right, so after making the wings, what are we gonna go for, right? The perfect item, a little bit of blue cheese dressing and some celery. But why go to the store and get blue cheese dressing when you can make your own? Now, a lot of people probably be like, it's a waste of time, so on, it's convenient. But if you like a certain type of blue cheese crumble, that's awesome. You can get something that's really strong, kind of up the stakes just a little bit for your guest. And also, if you want to switch it up, like they have different types of mayonnaise out these days if you're on any type of dietary restrictions, or switch out with a different milk instead of buttermilk, etc. So that's another reason why you'd probably make your own. Then you just figure out what you're going to do about the blue cheese crumbles. But anyway, so we're just going to make, it's very simple to make it at your house. So you're going to do mayonnaise, right? You're just going to put everything kind of together. Buttermilk. Kind of whisk as we go. A little bit of sour cream. What's this in? Then some sea salt, cafe ground black pepper. I always, whenever I do it so it doesn't clump up, I kind of put it over the items like this, kind of spread it out. But sea salt, black pepper, granulated garlic, kind of introduce these seasonings a little bit. And this is a good item to actually let sit for a little bit. If you just went to the store and got the ingredients, leave the mayonnaise in the cooler, or the buttermilk and everything, so it stays nice and cold. You can actually start eating this either right away, but I kind of would like it to sit, kind of let your ingredients, kind of the seasonings, the blue cheese open up and so on for about 30 minutes in your refrigerator. This is Danish blue cheese crumbles. These are phenomenal. It's not super duper expensive. Has great flavor. Then you're just going to take this, just break it up. And then you can also do, I mean, I bought these, before where, oh, super duper chunky, or not a lot of blue cheese because you don't like the texture or whichever, and you just want the flavor. But, this is nice. Just crumble it up, drop it in. And we're just going to mix in these blue cheese crumbles. It's going to be nice and chunky. Kind of be able to break them up just a little bit more. But like I said, I like chunk, but you want to have a little bit in each bite, so you can tell it's nice coverage on here. That's awesome. This will last also probably about 6 days in your refrigerator. Another thing is, like, whenever you have any type of buttermilk inside of a product, you start to see bubbles rise to the top of the dressing or anything. That's another way to tell that it's starting to go bad. Like I said, about 6 days. If you're having a big party, make your own. It's just kind of the life of the party. So afterwards, just kind of, also celery. We're going to move this over a little bit, right? And cut the ends off, get all the browns off. I like to cut my celery in half lengthwise, because when I dip, I like to not double dip or anything. So if you're having a party, cut them littler pieces. Cut them in half, go right down. This one's already kind of thin as it is. Same thing here. And then to get a little bit more crisp into it, kind of like if you're cutting romaine or something, a little bit of ice water, nothing crazy on the ice because you don't want to shock the fruit, or shock the celery. We're just going to add it, kind of let it sit for a little bit right before we serve. So after everything is said and done, we got this beautiful coverage of the truffle hot sauce. It's got a nice light aroma of the truffle. It's not overly powerful either. I know there's a lot of non-truffle lovers out there, but this is a very beautiful item. Nice crispiness. You can get a little bit more crispiness, like if you put a little bit of a little bit more seasonings on it, or leave them in a little bit longer. You can actually leave them in a little bit longer, because I do like them crispy. I know everybody else likes them crispy. We had somebody else to say about 2 minutes ago. I'm calling her out. So, but she also said that you can also do, there's a couple different places. It was what, baking soda? Mm-hmm. Baking soda coverage. And you can also do, after you pat them dry, you put like a little bit of light oil, and Truffle actually makes a new truffle oil too. We'll get into that later. But the blue cheese dressing, I did try it whenever we finished it just a little bit ago. And then we let it sit for a little bit longer too, just to it magnifies the blue cheese, the flavoring. And remember, put whatever blue cheese you love. If you want to go nuts, get a little 8-ounce piece of $20 blue cheese that's imported and get some crazy flavoring out of it. But what's nice, the small celery, everybody could just get a nice one bite. Now they say certain things like when you make them fresh, this is one of them. Let's put it that way. And I know they're waiting to dig in on this. That's why I'm just gonna take my time and let them drool over what we're doing. No, but we're gonna grab a wing. Nice and hot, full coverage. Oh, look at that. Heat just coming right out of that thing. Like I said, I was light on the sauce, still on my fingertips. You don't gotta go nuts. Just get some good flavoring on there. We'll see you next time. They're gonna dig into this.